Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First the headlines. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed received His Excellency Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council. His Excellency the Deputy President and Prime Minister of Yemen arrives in the Sultanate on a 3-day visit. The Minister of Manpower states in front of Shura Council that employment in the private sector has increased by 12%. And the Gulf Chambers of Commerce and Industry discuss customs facilities and standard specifications among the GCC countries. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, on the death of Sheikh Shamlan Abdul Aziz Al Hamoud Al Jarrah Al Sabah. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed receives His Excellency Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and received the blessed progress of the GCC and the current preparations for the 15th consultancy meeting in Saudi Arabia. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs. His Excellency Khalid Mahfoud Bahaha, Deputy President of Yemen and Prime Minister, arrived this afternoon to the Sultanate for a 3-day visit. He was received upon arrival by His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Dr. Abdul Munim bin Mansour Al Ahsani, Minister of Information, His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary General of Supreme Council for Planning, His Excellency Engineer Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, His Excellency Badr bin Muhammad Al Manthari, Sultan's Ambassador accredited Yemen, His Excellency Mubarak bin Ahmed Al Mkhaini, Head of the Arab Orient Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Acting Charge d'Affaires of Yemen's Embassy and members of the Embassy. The guest is accompanied by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Maitami, Minister of Planning and International Liaison, His Excellency Minister Abdullah Mohammed Al-Sayadi, His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Al-Sheikh Abu Bakr, Minister of Awqaf and Guidance, His Excellency Mohammed Saeed Mohsin Al-Saadi, Minister of Industry and Commerce, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Amri, Minister of State, His Excellency Mahmoud Mohsin Shaif, Acting Deputy of the Yemen Embassy in the Sultanate. The statement of His Excellency Sheikh Minister of Manpower at the Shura Council highlighted 4 main topics focused on working sector, information system of labor market and its reflection on organizing labor market, small and medium enterprises, besides focusing on the legislations taken to develop working relations among production parties. Here is a report by Saif bin Khalfan Al-Kindi.
His Excellency the Minister of Manpower initiated his presentation at Majlis Ashura with statistical figures. One of them is the high ratio of the average growth in the national manpower at the private sector that reached 12% a year. Out of 51,000 diploma holders, employees, Omanis are about 15,000 and expats are 36,000. The figures also revealed that only 16,823 Omanis of higher education holders are located in the private sector, compared with about 129,000 expats that are capturing the higher position. His Excellency Tawfiq Al-Lawati, member of Shura Council, underlined this point. He said,
"Today we had a meeting and discussion with His Excellency, the Minister of Manpower, and basically there is still the concern of the number of Omanis in the private sector. It is still below the expectation. We are not only talking about the numbers, rather than the jobs at different levels of management, at the top level, at the mid-management level, and at the semi and skilled labor level as well."
Moreover, His Excellency indicated that the expat percentage of manpower almost reached 87%, while the national manpower is 13%, about 207,000 Omanis. The Dakhiliya Governorate has the highest percentage of Omani employees of about 27%, while Dhofar, Musandam and Muscat have the lowest rate, about 8.5 to 9.4%.
Well, the government, especially in the 8th plan, 5 years plan, has invested huge amount of money, 900 million Riyal Omani just on the higher education, over and above what the technical colleges and SQU, Sultan Qaboos University. Yet, with all these investments, still the number of Omani college or university graduates or even diploma holders is still below. This is a major concern.
Omanis mainly join 6 job categories. They are communications, transportation, stores, real estate, hotels, wholesale and retails. The figures also indicated that housemaid services jobs increased more than 55% between 113,000 in 2012 to 175,000 in 2014. New strategies have been followed to provide sufficient job opportunities to young Omanis, including establishing labor committees, a bank of job opportunities, and strengthening the relation between employers and employees. Many Shura members called today for more efforts to improve training and qualifying job seekers to provide them with sufficient skills and let them meet the labor market demands. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
In Salalah, in the governorate of Dhofar, a new cardiac centre built at a cost of 24 million Omani Riyals is opened under the patronage of His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar, in the presence of His Excellency the Minister of Health, their Excellencies, honourable members of the State Council, Shura Council, Undersecretaries and other officials. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
The Ministry of Health, in its endeavours to achieve its general strategic objectives that aim at establishing a number of specialised centres in the governorates embodying decentralised approach in health services, which the Ministry of Health is seeking to solidify in order to provide self-sufficiency of specialised medical services in various parts of the Sultanate.
I visited the center when they started doing their operations, and I'm very pleased that all these operations were successful. Many patients took advantage of this center, and now we don't have any waiting list. That is very good news. People are benefiting from this center, and we hope that citizens from the Sultanate, from other parts of the Sultanate, can use these facilities.
The Minister of Health celebrated the inauguration of the Cardiac Centre project in Salalah, Dhofar Governorate, with a total cost of about 24 million Omani Riyals, including the cost of equipment and furniture.
Well, before the opening of the center, the cardiac patients from the government of Dhofar used to be part of the waiting list in the cardiac centers in Muscat, the one at the Royal Hospital and the other one at Sultan Qaboos University Hospital. Since the opening, soft opening, we have eliminated what is known as a waiting list for both angiography and cardiac surgery. So the added value is huge.
The Cardiac Center project in Salalah is considered to be one of the most important pioneer leading specialized projects at the level of the governorate, which render its therapeutic services to the people of the governorate without having to travel to the capital Muscat, which makes it easier for the patients and their families, and also reduces the burden on the national health institutions in Muscat Governorate. 291 medical, technical and administrative cadres work in this center, which consists of 56 beds for admission. The cardiac center was partly running from June of last year, specifically in the radiology department. Then this was followed by the outpatient clinics for men and women during the month of July.
This is a great achievement, first of all, to the Ministry of Health and to the citizens of the Dhofari region. They used to travel all the way to Muscat for the surgery and interventional cardiology, but it is fortunate that now they've got their own center.
The inpatients were transferred to the center on the 18th of last November, and in December of last year, cardiac catheterization was initiated, which varied between diagnostic and therapeutic operations. This was followed by open heart surgeries of various kinds, which are performed by qualified medical team in cardiac center in Salalah in collaborations with doctors from the Royal and Sultan Qaboos University hospitals. The center was built on an estimated total area of 16,444 square meters, and its building consists of 2 floors. Among non-communicable diseases, special attention is devoted to cardiovascular diseases with other conditions, as the burden of these conditions affects countries worldwide. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Cardiac Center, Sultan Qaboos Hospital, Salalah, Governorate of Dhofar.
The meeting of the Board of Directors of the GCC Countries Chambers Union was held in Muscat today. It discussed a number of topics related to customs facilitations among the GCC countries and the GCC standard specifications, in addition to holding Gulf Economic Forum in the Qatari capital Doha. The meeting also reviewed organizing Gulf Products exhibition outside, as well as to send commercial delegations to review investment opportunities with world countries. It also focused on enhancing joint economic and commercial works among the GCC countries, in addition to ways of cooperation between International Work Organization and Arab Work Organization. On the sideline of the GCC countries Chambers Union meeting, the Oman-Bahrain Work Council held a meeting that resulted in an agreement to establish a company adopted by private sector and a number of businessmen and women from both sides. The Work Council aimed to benefit from various investment opportunities in the Sultanate and Bahrain, as well as contribute in social and economic development between both countries. Abdul Rahim Hassan Naqi, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council Countries Chambers Union, in a statement to Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, said that the volume of intra-trade among the GCC countries reached $120 billion. He added that the Joint Gulf Market Committee held more than 17 meetings, and it discussed topics related to various sectors in joint Gulf market, including freedom of commercial work, transportation, in addition to possession of lands and real estate and others. Still to come in our news bulletin. Sultan Qaboos University celebrates the 15th anniversary of the royal visit to the university. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. His Highness Sayyid Haytham bin Tariq Al Saeed, Minister of Heritage and Culture, received in his office today His Excellency Albert Cho, Second Permanent Deputy at the Foreign Ministry of Singapore, and his delegation within the current visit to the Sultanate to attend the 12th political consultation session between the Sultanate and Singapore. Both sides exchanged important common topics, bilateral relations between the two countries, and the benefit from each other in various fields, in addition to review aspects of cooperation between the two friendly countries. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Sultanate and Singapore exchanged points of view on a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern during the 12th political consultation session between the two foreign ministries of the Sultanate and Singapore. They also discussed aspects of bilateral cooperation aspects and ways of developing them to serve the joint interest of the two nations. The Omani side was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Singaporean side by His Excellency Albert Cho, Second Permanent Deputy at the Foreign Ministry of Singapore. Reviewing bilateral relations and cooperation horizons binding the Sultanate and Singapore was the main aspect of the discussion between His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning, and His Excellency Albert Cho, Second Permanent Deputy at the Foreign Ministry of Singapore, and his delegation. They also reviewed a number of issues of mutual concern. The seminar on implementation of judgments and rights started in Muscat under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Interior. It was organized by the Council of Administrative Affairs of the Judiciary. It witnessed a participation from judges, razzier and lawyers from inside and outside the Sultanate. The seminar focused on various judicial experiences that contributed in the facilitation of procedures of implementing provisions. It also discussed future horizons of procedure and electronic development. The seminar also revealed that more than 24,000 implementation files are registered in courts. The tender of paving works on the location that the new refinery will be built upon the Special Economic Zone at Duqm was awarded today. This project will include digging more than 12 million cubic meters of a soil that will contribute in the building in the specified date in 2016. The refinery will run by refinement energy amounting to 230,000 barrels daily. It will also produce diesel and aircraft fuel, naphtha and liquefied petroleum gas. The Duqm refinery is considered as one of the most prominent development projects implemented in Duqm Special Economic Zone that would have positive reflections in promoting the process of development and boosting the local economy through added local values initiatives. Seeking to upgrade of the human resources working in the tourism sector, the Ministry of Tourism signed an agreement with the German University of Technology aiming to analyze the reality of higher education outcome and training of this sector, in addition to rendering proposals with different authorities to evaluate human resources working in this sector in order to keep up with the Omani strategy in promoting it. The agreement was signed by Her Excellency Maitha bint Yusuf Al Mahruqiya, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism. The exhibition of religious tolerance continued its global tour and launched its activities in Tirana, the capital of Albania. The Message of Islam from Oman exhibition witnessed wide attendance from Albanian people. It was organized by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs in cooperation with Al-Sar Albanian Institution. The exhibition aimed to spread values of understanding, coexistence, living and dialogue among world nations. It included a documentary about Oman as well as artistic paintings which express religious tolerance message. It contained media campaign which distributed cards expressing values of peace and coexistence on social media means and electronic website. Commemorating His Majesty's visit to Sultan Qaboos University, a celebration was held on the 15th University Day, which falls on 3rd of May every year. The event included a show on research and scientific achievements by the first university in the Sultanate in addition to its new academic and social partnerships programs. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al-Munthari, Chairman of the State Council. The event included a contribution by College of Sultan Qaboos University, which presented their roles inside this big institution in the accompanied exhibition. With the Sultan's interest towards tourism development, the upcoming year will witness the inauguration of the first entertainment, touristic and educational project under the name of Oman Aquarium, built at a cost of more than $30 million. This was announced by the chairman of the board of directors of Al Jarwani Group, Mahmoud bin Mohammed Al Jarwani, clarifying that the project will be built on an area of 7,500 square meters, and it is part of an entertainment area of the project of Palm Mall, Muscat. The first of its kind project seeks to provide entertainment, educational, touristic and heritage services, in addition to narrate Omani environment elements and its place where visitors are able to know more about environment potentials, flora and fauna in the Sultanate. Various fashion models, colors and styles showcased in a fashion show which titled Bride and Knights of 2015. The show included 2 groups of fashion shows, and the first specialized for night dresses which came in various colors and styles. The second show included wedding dresses which are based on Eastern designs. The show included Bayoud musical pieces. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said receives His Excellency Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council. His Excellency the Deputy President and Prime Minister of Yemen arrives in the Sultanate on a 3-day visit. The Minister of Manpower states in front of Shura Council that employment in the private sector has increased by 12%. And the Gulf Chambers of Commerce and Industry discuss customs facilities and standard specifications among the GCC countries. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studio and the newsroom, it's good night.